Welcome to Things You Don't Know. Today, we're going to talk about something that we run into all the time, generalization. Let's talk about it. If you ask somebody for a tissue, an adhesive bandage, or a photocopy, you may hear three different words. You might hear Kleenex, Band-Aid, and Xerox.
And see, those are brand names, but they're often used as though they were the names of the actual products themselves. We Google information, use Velcro on shoes, and sometimes call every frozen ice treat a popsicle.
Yeah, today we're looking at how brand names enter everyday language and why companies are not always pleased when that happens.
We'll also look at regional and generational differences, including places where ordering a Coke does not necessarily mean you want a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, a trademark is supposed to identify one company's product. Kleenex is a brand of facial tissue. Band-Aid is a brand of adhesive bandage. Velcro is a brand of hook and loop fastener.
But people prefer words that are familiar, short, and easy to say. Pass me a Kleenex sounds more natural than please hand me a disposable facial tissue.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. When a brand becomes extremely dominant, people may begin using its name for every similar product.
Well, Dr. Weaver, that sounds like the ultimate business success. Your product becomes so famous that your company's name enters the language.
Yeah, but there's a danger. If the public eventually understands the name only as a type of product, the company may have trouble protecting it as a trademark.
Some words that now sound completely ordinary began as protected brand names.
Yep, examples in the United States include escalator, cellophane, thermos, and shredded wheat. Aspirin also lost its trademark protection in the United States, although it remains protected in some other countries.
Most people today would never guess that escalator was once the name of one company's moving staircase. I didn't really know that, Dr. Weaver, before we started this podcast.
Yeah. Okay. The public gradually stopped treating that term escalator as a brand and began treating it as the standard name of the machine.
But not every brand that people use casually has become legally generic. Kleenex, Band-Aid, Velcro, Xerox, Popsicle, and Frigidaire are still protected names.
So common usage and legal status are not always the same thing, right, Chandler?
That's exactly right, Dr. Weaver. Now, the bathroom's cabinet may contain more casually generic brand names than any other room in the house.
Yeah, people ask for a band-aid, regardless of who made the adhesive bandage. They call cotton swabs Q-tips, petroleum jelly, Vaseline, and lip balm chapstick.
A person may even say, "Hey, I bought generic chapstick," which is technically a contradiction. The chapstick is the brand, but lip balm is the actual product.
Yeah, the same thing happens with medicines. People sometimes use a well known brand name when they actually mean any product containing the same active ingredient.
Now, that's one situation where I have to say, Dr. Weaver, checking the label matters. Two different brand names may contain the same medicine.
Brand names make products easy to remember, but they can also hide what the product actually is.
A brand has truly entered the language when people turn it into a verb.
We Google a question, Photoshop an image, Zoom with a colleague, or Xerox a document.
Although Someone can say they Googled something while admitting they used a different search engine.
That is exactly the sort of usage companies watch carefully. They want people to say their brand is the preferred way to perform the activity, not that the brand name is the activity itself.
Xerox spent years reminding people that you make a photocopy on a Xerox copier. You do not technically Xerox a Xerox.
Accurate, but probably not a sentence anyone wants to hear while standing beside an office copier.
You got that right, Dr. Weaver. Now let's talk about Velcro. Velcro is one of the clearest examples of a company fighting to keep its name from becoming generic,
The ordinary product description is hook and loop fastener.
which is correct, but it does not exactly roll off the tongue, does it?
No, it doesn't. The company encourages people to say Velcro brand hook and loop fastener. That makes it clear that Velcro is the brand, not the entire category.
Now, that may work on packaging. It is less likely to work when a parent is trying to get a child's shoes fastened before the school bus arrives.
This is the conflict companies face. They want a name that everyone recognizes, but not one that completely replaces the product's ordinary name.
Now, regional speech can make the situation even more interesting.
Yeah, across the United States, carbonated soft drinks may be called soda, pop, Coke, or even bottled drinks. In Virginia, where I grew up, we often called those drinks soft drinks or soda. In Tennessee, they often call them bottle drinks.
Now, soda is common in much of the Northeast and on the West Coast. Pop is strongly associated with parts of the Midwest. In sections of the South, Coke may refer to almost any soft drink.
Yeah, that can produce an exchange like this.
Now, what kind of Coke do you want?
Sprite,
To an outsider, you know what? That actually sounds like asking, what kind of Chevrolet do you want? And then you get a Ford.
but within that regional dialect, Coke can mean the general category first and the specific drink second.
Now, these terms are not limited by exact state borders. Families carry language with them, and neighboring communities may use different words.
What you call a soft drink can reveal where you grew up or where your parents did.
Now, older words and famous brands can also survive long after technology changes and evolves.
Yes, some people still call a refrigerator an icebox. That name comes from the insulated cabinets that were cooled with blocks of ice before electric refrigerators became common.
Now, others, especially in earlier generations or certain regions, called almost any refrigerator a Frigidaire, even when another company made it.
Yeah, Frigidaire remains a brand name, while icebox is an older product term that stayed in everyday speech.
Now, something similar happened with recording. People may still say they are going to tape a television program or tape an interview, even though no magnetic tape is involved.
Yeah, tape is not a brand name, but it shows the same power of habit. Once a familiar word becomes attached to an activity, it can survive long after the original product disappears.
Different countries also have their own brand names that became everyday words.
Yes, indeedy. In Britain, people often use Hoover to mean any vacuum cleaner. To Hoover means to vacuum, even when the machine was made by another company.
A ballpoint pen may be called a biro, and clear adhesive tape may be called sellotape.
In Australia, a portable cooler is sometimes called an esky,
So the same item might be called a cooler in the United States, a cool box in Britain, or an esky in Australia.
which brand becomes the everyday word often depends on which company entered the market early, advertised heavily, or became dominant in that region.
The most successful generic sounding brands usually share a few qualities.
Yeah, they are brief, distinctive, and easier to remember than the formal product name.
Band-Aid is quicker than adhesive bandage. Google is faster than perform an internet search. Velcro is easier than hook and loop fastener.
A brand may also have been the first version many consumers encountered. If people learn the brand name before learning the product name, the two may become kind of interchangeable.
Advertising strengthens that connection. After hearing one name repeatedly, consumers may use it even when buying a competitor's product.
The company has succeeded in becoming memorable, but perhaps a little too memorable.
Brand names show that language is not controlled entirely by dictionaries, companies, or lawyers. Ordinary people change words by repeating them.
Some trademarks eventually become the official names of products. Others remain protected brands, even though people use them generically in conversation.
Now, older terms can survive too. We may tape a program without tape, put groceries in an icebox without ice, or call a refrigerator a Frigidaire when it is simply another brand.
So the next time you Google an answer, grab a Kleenex, fasten some Velcro, or order a Coke that turns out to be orange soda. Notice the name that you chose,
That's right. And you may think that you are just simply naming a product.
but you may also be repeating one of the most successful marketing achievements or one of the strongest language habits in history. So we could go on, and there's a lot of these fun little facts there. But this has been Things You Don't Know. Hope you'll get something out of it. Leave us a like and a comment and come back soon.
That's right, folks. We hope you learned something from this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to come back and see us. We got some good stuff coming. Bye for now, folks.